Denmark's intelligence service just added the United States to its list of security threats.
Not Russia. Not China. The United States, its own NATO ally.
The report landed in January 2026. Buried in the assessment was a single phrase that would have been unthinkable 12 months earlier. American pressure on allies now constitutes new uncertainty for Danish national security. The target of that pressure has a name: Greenland. 216 million hectares of ice and rock. Population, 56,000. 90% Inuit. They fish for shrimp and halibut, export 90% of everything they sell, receive half their government budget from Copenhagen. Most have never seen a foreign soldier except at the American base in the Northwest, where radar dishes scan the Arctic sky for missiles that have never come. For decades, Greenland existed in a kind of twilight. Autonomous, but not independent. Danish, but not quite. A place the world forgot until the ice began to melt.
Then came the geology reports.
Beneath that ice sheet lies one of the largest undeveloped rare earth deposits on Earth. The Kvanefjeld site alone holds over 1 million tons of rare earth oxides. Tanbreez contains 4.7 billion tons of ore. The elements needed for missiles, satellites, batteries, the entire technological architecture of modern warfare. American defense contractors have already signed agreements. Production is scheduled for 2026. And underneath the continental shelf, according to Danish geological surveys, sit 17 billion barrels of recoverable oil. Trump first floated the idea of buying Greenland in 2019. The Danish prime minister called it absurd. He canceled a state visit in retaliation.
Now he is back. And he is no longer asking.
On January 4, 2026, hours after American special forces extracted Venezuelan President Maduro from Caracas, Trump took a call from the Atlantic aboard Air Force One. He was asked if Venezuela would be the last country America intervenes in. His answer: "We absolutely need Greenland." Then he set a deadline: 20 days to begin discussions, 2 months to resolve the matter. The architecture of acquisition had been building for months. In 2025, the Pentagon quietly transferred Greenland from European Command to Northern Command. A bureaucratic adjustment, officials said. Geography. But the political signal was unmistakable. Greenland was being reclassified as American territory and waiting. Vice President Vance visited the Pituffik Space Base in March 2025. He toured the radar installations, met with personnel, then delivered a message to cameras. Denmark wasn't investing enough in Greenland's security. The island would be better off under American protection. American intelligence operatives increased their presence on the island. Copenhagen summoned the U.S. Chargé d'Affaires to protest what it called secret activities by American personnel. The White House appointed a special envoy to Greenland, Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry. His stated mission: make Greenland part of America.
There is no diplomatic precedent for appointing an envoy to another nation's internal territory. The position itself is an act of delegitimization.
Katie Miller, wife of a senior White House official, posted an image on social media. A map of Greenland colored in American flag stripes. One word beneath it: SOON. Greenland's Prime Minister Jens Frederik Nielsen responded within hours. Relations between nations are built on mutual respect and international law, not symbolic gestures that disregard the status and rights of others. He added a line that would echo across European capitals: Greenland is not for sale.
The largest protest in Greenland's history filled the streets of Nuuk.
56,000 people live on that island. Several thousand marched. In proportional terms, it was as if 15 million Americans took to the streets in a single day. They were protesting against their supposed protector. This is the geometry of the crisis. America already has what it claims to need. The 1951 Defense Agreement grants the U.S. military broad access to Greenland. American radar systems already track missiles over the Arctic. American aircraft already refuel at Pituffik. The strategic assets are already in place.
What Trump wants is not access. It is ownership.
Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen understood this. On January 4th, she issued her sharpest statement yet. If the United States chooses to launch a military attack against another NATO country, everything will end. including NATO, including the security system built since World War II ended. She was not being rhetorical. Article 5 of the NATO treaty obligates all members to defend any member under attack. If America attacks Denmark, a NATO founding member, the alliance faces an impossible paradox. Defend Denmark against America, or acknowledge that the treaty means nothing. Frederickson added one more observation. She had spoken with Trump directly. She declined to say when, but she offered an assessment of his intentions.
I believe he is serious.
7 European leaders released a joint statement on January 6th. France, Germany, Britain, Italy, Poland, Spain, Denmark. The statement invoked the UN Charter. Sovereignty, territorial integrity, inviolable borders. Greenland belongs to its people. The statement did not mention the United States by name. It did not need to. Secretary of State Marco Rubio attempted damage control in a closed congressional briefing. The threats, he explained, were leverage. The goal was purchase, not invasion. He downplayed military options. Hours later, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt confirmed the opposite. The president and his team were discussing a range of options to obtain Greenland. Those options included the use of American military forces.
The contradiction was intentional. Rubio reassures. Leavitt threatens. The target is kept off balance, uncertain which voice represents policy.
This is the pattern established in Venezuela. Public threats dismissed as bluster until they became midnight raids. What happens if Trump moves on Greenland? Denmark cannot resist militarily. Its armed forces exist primarily for peacekeeping operations. Greenland has no military of its own. The island's defense has always depended on NATO, which is to say on the United States. Europe could sanction, could condemn, could sever ties. But European security has depended on American guarantees since 1949. Confronting Washington means confronting the entire post-war order. Russia has warned that American acquisition of Greenland would violate international law and destabilize the Arctic. But Russia is mired in Ukraine, in no position to act.
China has interest in Greenland's minerals but no capacity to project power into the North Atlantic.
The island's 56,000 residents watch from their coastal villages as giants argue over their future. Their parliament has no army. Their coast guard has no warships. Their fate, as it has been for centuries, will be decided elsewhere. A Danish columnist proposed a counteroffer. If America can buy Greenland, perhaps Denmark should buy California. A petition gathered 200,000 signatures. It was a joke. Everyone understood it was a joke.
No one is laughing in Nook.
The radar dishes at Patuxent continue their slow rotation, scanning empty skies for threats that were never supposed to come from the south.